Hey Power Factory fam, welcome back. It's been a while. We're going to talk about the shoulder. We're going to continue where we left. So last video we talked about good posture, and now we're going to take a look at a few mobility exercises we can do to improve our shoulder health, shoulder position. Okay. The first one I want to talk about, I'm going to show it against the rack, and it's going to be very simple. And it's just putting the joint back into the socket. Okay, so when we have shoulder pain, when we experience pain around the shoulder, it helps if we can bring back the joint back to the socket. Okay, so I'm going to show a mobility exercise we can do against the rack. Okay, great. So we're at the rack. How is this going to work? So it's going to be very simple, very basic. You're just going to put your arm against the rack, parallel to the floor. You're going to pull your shoulder weight back, and you're just going to push against the rack and imagine the joint getting back into the socket. And in this position, so pulling the shoulder weight back, keeping the arm straight, as straight as possible. You external, when you rotate, you bring the thumb out, push back, and you're going to stay in this position for about at least 1 to 2 minutes. Okay? And this is going to make a significant change in your mobility just by staying in this position. Great, so this mobility exercise we just did is great for movements like a bench press, where we need a good shoulder range of motion, where we pull the shoulder weights back and set the shoulders in a good position, prior to bench press or push-ups. Great. So next to this concept of doing movements, mobility exercises to put the joint back into the socket, we want to work on the muscle tissue. Okay, and I'm going to show you two mobility exercises we can do to improve our shoulder position. First one is the thoracic spine, and the second one is the back. So the first one, we want to mobilize, open up this muscle tissue around the back. Okay, and it's going to be very simple. We're going to use this little ball, the cross ball. I'm going to put it just below the collarbone. I'm going to go against the wall, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the shoulder weight back, and I'm going to pull my arm behind my back. I'm going to go against the wall, and then I'm just going to roll from side to side just below the collarbone, open up that area. If you find an area that is more painful, that means you need more focus on that area, you're just going to breathe in, breathe out, so let that lacrosse ball sink in to the muscle, and you're just going to continue there, slowly going from side to side, just like this. Okay, it's going to be very easy, just below the collarbone, going from side to side. Great, so this mobility exercise we just did for the back is a great one if you experience a lot of pain in the front part of the shoulder. Okay, so you're going to mobilize this whole area around the back, just below the collarbone, and it's going to improve your range of motion. You're going to feel a lot of relief. Okay, it's going to be very good. We're going to continue with the third one, and it's going to be on the floor. We're going to talk about mobilizing the upper part of the back, and this is going to improve our overhead position. Okay, we as coaches see a lot of people that struggle to go into an overhead position. So a great one to improve this position is doing the thoracic spine mobilization. Okay, great. So we're on the floor. I'm going to show you the one to mobilize the upper back. So this one is good to improve the overhead position. It's going to be very simple. We're going to place the ball just so between the spine and the shoulder blade. And we're going to start at the base of the shoulder blade, the muscle between the spine and the shoulder blade. I'm going to place the ball there, and then I'm going to lie on the floor, starting at the base of my shoulder blade, so between the spine and the shoulder blade. And from here, I'm going to bring my thumb to the opposite part of the hip, and I'm going to bring my arm into a good, nice overhead position, external rotation, arm nice and straight, I touch and I go back. And I keep going, performing this movement. If I don't feel anything, I go up a little segment, just slightly up, and I continue this movement, okay? Until you find a space that is quite painful, and you linger there. If you want to add a little bit of pressure, you bring your hips a little bit up there, and this way you can add a little pressure and really mobilize the muscle tissue of the upper back, and it's really gonna have a positive effect on your overhead position. Okay, so you can go all the way up until the trap, actually. Okay. Okay, Bar Factory fam, I hope you guys enjoyed. So let's give a quick resume of what we did. We talked about putting the joint back into the socket. We talked about mobilizing the muscle tissue around the back and the upper back. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask, and hope to see you guys soon. Peace.